and work and see the world from there. I'm going to talk a little bit about the mechanics of what we do, just to set the stage. This is where we live on the space station. All the pressurized quarters in the middle, the different laboratories. They're kind of in the middle hub of it, powered by the big solar arrays. And this, you mentioned in the intro that on my third flight, I flew in a Soyuz. This is what the Soyuz looks like. There's probably Russian speakers here, but Soyuz means union, because it joins the Earth to the space station. That's what it looks like from the outside. That's what it looks like on the inside. It's got living quarters on the left. The capsule that survives re-entry is in the middle, and those are engines on the right. And that's what takes us to the space station and brings us back. It's a pretty cool vehicle. That's a periscope, that green thing sticking down, infrared sensors, really, really efficient, well designed and well evolved spaceship. When we launch, it sits like that, with a crew of 3, sitting in that, in the orange section in the middle. And the rockets sitting on the pad were that little section way up at the top, inside the shroud. And we launched from Baikonur in Kazakhstan, the same launch pad that Yuri Gagarin launched from back when I was the same age as that little girl in the leopard skin diapers. And this is what a launch looks like. Is there sound, by the way? We'll see.
T-minus 15 and counting. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And ignition. Liftoff. Liftoff of Kevin Ford, Evgeny Tarakin, and Oleg Novitsky as they head on a 2-day trip to the International Space Station.
Those are the 3 guys that were living on station when we got there. It's actually a pretty smooth ride, a lot smoother than the shuttle. The shuttle's really heavy vibration because it's got the 2 solid rockets and a big liquid tank and then the shuttle strapped to it. So it shakes like a big loose vehicle. The Soyuz, you feel like someone's just giving you a huge push from the back, but you can feel it steering through the atmosphere. You can actually feel it dodging left and right like a boat. Watch it go through the clouds.
Fuel for the first 2 minutes and 6 seconds of the flight.
Like a boat cutting through the waves is what it feels like on the way up. It takes about 9 minutes to get to space. And at the end of it, you're going 17,500 miles an hour, about 5 miles a second. And you're high enough that you're in a catch-up orbit to the space station. We took about 2 days to get ready to come in and dock to the station. That's what it looks like in plan form. European-built section, Japanese, American, Russian, and all the solar arrays. And the Soyuz comes into dock into one of these 4 ports on the Russian section at the back. Sort of like only so many places you can play the shell game of vehicles. And ours came in and docked where that Soyuz 35 is there at the bottom. It's a picture of us just coming into dock. It's a really cool mechanism. It's just a probe and probe. Just this long, flexible probe drives into a cone and kind of self-centers and slams home like 2 railway cars coming together. Clicks in, and then there's hooks all the way around that ring. And they pull the 2 vehicles together, lock them, make an airtight seal, and then you're there for half a year. You can open the hatch. And you're really happy when you open the hatch. You can see my face is swollen up here because of the fluid shift without gravity to push the fluid down to my feet. Your body gets kind of swollen up around the head. And so for the first several days, you got a big fat head, little skinny legs. But weightlessness, this briefing would be a lot more fun if we were all weightless floating around in here. It is a blast. It's like a toy that never winds down. It's just, you can fly, you can touch, you can do 1,000 somersaults. You can see if farts are propulsive. You can do whatever you want. Weightlessness is a lot of fun. And they aren't. You play with your water before you drink it. You just, it's a really, the simplest things become hard. You know, one of the hardest things to do in weightlessness is to do up your shoe. if you're going to work out on the exercise machine. Because if you think about it, while you're doing up your running shoe, you've got 2 hands and 1 foot busy. And so there's nothing to keep you from floating into things. So while you're doing up your shoe, you're always bound, and your other shoe floats away while you're getting yourself ready to work out. The simplest things are hard in weightlessness. But it's a great laboratory. We do nanoparticle research, what I'm doing here inside a microgravity glove box. A lot of people ask what a candle would look like without gravity. There's a candle on the left, normal one, and then next to it is how a candle burns without gravity. Instead of the hot air coming out and the nice fresh oxygen coming in underneath, it's just diffusion. So you end up with a little blue dome is how a candle burns. And we recently discovered flame behaves differently than we thought it did. There's this weird intra-burning phase where it doesn't even look like it's burning anymore. That's normally completely masked by convection. We just found that out within the last year or there. So it's important for complete combustion in engines and in fire extinguishing as well. We have telescopes on board. This one we use to look